Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Usha Vyas. Today, my topic is Twelfth Night, and I will discuss whether Twelfth Night is a beautiful blending of romance and realism. The first point in this answer is introduction. Though the background and atmosphere of Shakespearean comedy are romantic, they are all built on the solid rock of realism. In spite of all the romance and enchantment, life keeps hovering over it and enters into it. The characters, though fancy free no more, are the inhabitants of this world. They are not airy spirits. Charlton says, though the ultimate world of Shakespeare's comedy is romantic, poetic, and imaginative, it is by no means unsubstantial and fantastic. The Forest of Arden is no conventional Arcadia. Its inhabitants are not exempt from the penalty of Adam. Winter, rough weather, seasons differences, icy fang, and childish chiding of the winter's wind invade Arden as often as they invade this hemisphere of ours. A similar view is expressed by Allardyce Nicol. Characters and scenes alike are viewed through magic casements which transform reality. The settings are all imaginative and unhistorical trance. Ephesus, Thebes, Arden, Illyria, and Venice, each one conceived in a glow of a strange and beautiful fancy, yet all are related to real life. There are contemporary figures and contemporary fashion in Love's Labour Lost. Bottom and his companions mingle with the fairest. Sir Toby Belch and Sir Andrew Aguecheek are companions of Viola and Olivia, Dogberry and Verghese of Hero and Beatrice. This is the cardinal characteristic of Shakespeare's romantic world, the union of realism and fantasy. Now the next point, romantic scene of action. The action of Twelfth Night takes place in an imaginary country of Illyria. Illyria, as Shakespeare conceives it, does not exist on geographical map of world. It's an imaginary romantic country that exists only in poet's fancy. Charlton describes this country as the vast expanse of less known world. Romantic countries on whose coast all strange and stirring episodes man has dreamed of may come true. Shipwreck, piracy, warfare, marvelous escape from imminent death, hazards boldly and even recklessly encountered. Or maybe lands where corporeal and material exigencies offer no impediment to man's grasp at the opulence of merely sentimental existence. In such a climate, a duke may wallow orientally in the luxuriance of sheer sensuous excitement, but in the same area, the witchcraft of adventure will strike from a simple ship's certain a nobility of benevolence, which will sacrifice for another, all for another's good. A land of love. Illyria is equally a land of love. All the characters in the play are love-lorn, as in the world of romance. Twelfth Night, more than any other comedy of Shakespeare, has love as its central theme. As to the types of love, Lucy says, represented by the characters in Twelfth Night, the subject is inexhaustible, like the light and shadows of contrast that play upon the surface of drama and veil for a moment its depth of wisdom. There are no less than 6 pairs of serious or comic lovers. They are all, in one way or other, victims of Cupid. The god of love. Cupid is the prank player in this comedy. Cupid, in his freakishness, half a child, half a god, who makes his victims who love the game yet suffer in it, now kind, now cruel, hoping, despairing, yielding, repelling, fanciful, and serious, who plays as if with toys with Olivia, Sebastian, Viola, the Duke, even Malvolio, who turns upside down the best assorted plans. Now the next point is realistic background. In spite of all this romantic atmosphere and fanciful world, Twelfth Night has a realistic background. The plot of Twelfth Night consists of 2 principal episodes. The main plot is a romantic story of love, while subplot is a comic world of gross realism. All the characters of the underplot are realistic characters. Their designs are practical and worldly. Sir Toby humors Sir Andrew in order to fleece him of his money. Malvolio loves Olivia with a view to becoming Count Malvolio. His love has a material and selfish motive behind it. Maria is no less worldly wise. She succeeds in marrying Sir Toby by dint of her wit and pranks. The world of the underplot is therefore a world of gross realism. Now the next point is the Elizabethan background. Twelfth Night has a realistic Elizabethan background behind it. Its scene of action is indeed an imaginary romantic country called Illyria, which does not exist anywhere on the globe. Yet the background of the play is Elizabethan. The setting of most of Shakespeare's play is England in the 2 centuries before Queen Elizabeth. Some are set in remote and well-nigh forgotten days of remote past. In other plays, the setting and scenes are foreign and continental, and yet others are set in purely romantic lands of the poet's fancy. In all of them, even in the Roman plays, the actor speaks in language of thought as those of Englishmen of Shakespeare's own times. Twelfth Night, as Furnival says, in many respects a mirror of England in Shakespeare's time. From a close study of play, we gather much information about social and religious life of people of Elizabethan age. Now the concluding point is, thus we find that Twelfth Night is a beautiful blending of romance and realism. Its spirit and atmosphere are romantic while its background is realistic. This is all for today. Thanks so much for watching.